Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the Olight S10R Baton Generation 3. Just came out. Olight sent me this for review, so we're going to go over it. Comes in the very standard Olight packaging. And before we pull this apart, which I've already done a couple of times, I actually kind of had to be real delicate in order to keep this for you guys. You can see there are the stats and numbers. We're not going to go through everything, but very typical of Olight. It has a high mode with a step down, and low, medium, high moonlight. The usual waterproof, all that stuff that you expect from an Olight. So we're going to pop this open. And there is a little bit of a joke waiting for you guys inside. It does have this little handy reminder to pull out, guys. Very important life tip. You can get in a lot of trouble if you don't. Yeah, guys, sorry, I was saving that one up for a long time. Packaging is very standard for these Olight flashlights. You got your flashlight. Here is the charger dock, and I actually have not opened that yet because I actually have a bunch of them, so I didn't kind of want to open them all. Your instructions, which once again have your modes, mode spacing, brightness, all that. We'll set that aside. Your little Olight catalog, lanyard, USB cable. Alright, and here is the flashlight. We'll open this up. I lie. We're going to open up the charging station real quick and let you have a peek at that. We'll get into this before. So what it is, it's a USB charging station that takes advantage of their system, which is the magnetic tail cap. So this essentially just clicks into that, and this via USB, and it charges. The great thing about Olight, and what Olight did with this is really smart, because not only is this capable to charge with this contraption, but it's also capable of charging with the magnetic charger from the S10R. So if you own the S10R and the S10, you can interchange the two chargers between them, which is kind of awesome. So if you don't want to lug around this bigger, bulkier charger, you can actually interchange between them. So very standard, whoops, a little slippery. Your standard USB input, suction cups on the bottom, so if you want to put it on a desk or something like that and not have to worry about the magnet pulling it up, that is the case. Now when you get this light, one thing I do need to point out as well is there's going to be a piece of paper here, a little sticker that will prevent you from turning on the light during transit. So you're going to have to remove that. And one thing to also note is the polarity is backwards compared to most flashlights that you're going to deal with. So the button top on the battery is actually going to go towards the tail as opposed to the head. So there you go. Once again, we could go back to that pull-out joke, but we're not going to do that. Alright, standard Olight interface. Click to turn on, click to turn off, long press to cycle between your four modes. From off, long press will give you moonlight, double press will get you to turbo, and triple press for strobe. Very simple, easy interface. You also have a lockout mode, which you simply just hold in the button. It'll go past moonlight and blink. Now the light is locked out, and all you get is a nothing. Hold that in again. And we're no longer locked out. So awesome. So some of the other cool things about this light is that it does use the new SST40 LED. And now that's a little scary for me because there's not a lot published about this LED yet. So it's new, but it is supposed to be a super efficient LED, and it is supposed to be a good quality LED. I guess time will tell as to how efficient and how awesome of an LED it actually is. But Olight is actually the first one to use it in a flashlight, so it is kind of cool. We do get to be the guinea pigs for this flashlight. Everything else you expect from an Olight. Nice glass, nice clear reflector in it, the nice deep carry pocket clip, the magnetic base, everything, you know, very similar to what you've been seeing from Olight in the Baton and the S series flashlights. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull out the S10R. Holy crap, they are the same exact flashlight. At first glance, yes, they are actually very similar, because if you do look and compare the two, you'll actually see, I'm actually going to go out for this, that even their mode spacing is very similar. You know, you got the Moonlight, a 12 lumen, you know, in the, it's a 120 versus a 300 for the medium, but your high mode, 600, 300, you know, with the step down. Of course, the 1R does have that Turbo S that you get with a really full battery. So these are actually very, very similar in output, they're pretty much identical in size. You can see there's just a hair of a difference in length between the two of them. The major difference, and what you can kind of say is why should I buy one of these versus the other, is I think you really need to look at the beam and how these two lights are set up. Because they are so similar, the functionality is the same, everything's the same pretty much, except for this. The S10R has the TIR lens, which gives you a very good close-up beam with no hotspot. So you can see that's kind of a diffused beam, spreads out, and that's what that lens does. It gives you no hotspot, no reflector. Actually, I think there is a little orange peel reflector in there. Yeah, but this lens is set up in a way where the light is diffused. It's very gentle, no hotspot. The S10 has a nice smooth reflector, and that SST LED. Notice with this one, we have a really big hot spot. So you're going to have a big difference between the beams of these two lights. So for me, let me explain it to you this way. If you're thinking which light should I get, if you're going to be working close up, like say you're going to be working on your car, under the hood of your car, doing some electric repair, something like that, where you're doing very close-up work, I would go with the S10R, because that smoother beam is much easier on the eyes, especially if you're reading instructions, doing something like that, trying to look at small, shiny parts, or closely colored wires. That nice diffuse beam is very easy on the eyes. However, if you're out walking the dog, going camping, fishing, where you need to see greater distances, I would go with the S10. Now, these show the throw as being, let's see, 118 versus 145 meters, very, very close. But once again, like I said, you know, it's kind of a preference as to what kind of a beam you like, what preference in your beam. They are very similar, same battery, same interface, very similar modes, brightness, and all that, but there is just that slight difference. I do like that Olight's giving you that option where if you do want that kind of beam, you do have the choice. So as you expect, everything with this, nice quality, good anodizing, good knurling, pocket clips good, everything's good. You know, Olight typically does very good quality, pretty decent for the money, and everything, you know, is all around decent. It's a matter of kind of picking up and deciding which light you want for the money, because a lot of the models are pretty close. But I think with the magnetic tail cap, you know, this and the multiple charging systems, it does make a pretty good investment if you are going to stick with Olight and several other Olights, because they do cross between the various chargers and all that. So there it is, the S10R Generation 3.